Morning. It's the 18th, Saturday, the 18th of March. Don't know where that month went. Bloody hell, it doesn't seem to, well, it hasn't gone yet, but it doesn't seem 5 minutes since we were turning into March. Yeah, I've knocked off early yesterday. I knocked off at 3 to go pick Lydia up from school and took her to McDonald's for something to eat, which, I don't know, I don't mind it, but it's alright, innit? I know they support British farmers by using British tatties and British beef, but bloody hell, I don't know. It's 24 quid for a lot of crap, really. But anyway, Phil went into York yesterday with a load of stuff and come back with this, what we'd bought a couple of, well, previous sale. I'd tell you, it's a Kong-skilled germinator. And it's a minter, it really is. Bloody hell, I think it's one of the best we've ever bought, and they're still quite popular, but this is a right genuine thing. It looks in real good order. We have used one actually. We put it behind the little John Deere, the 6.5, on its flotation tyres, and on some overwintered ploughing or some light soil or even woldish soil. They're very, very good machines. Yeah, very, very fast and make a lovely level job. That's better than I thought it was, so yeah, I've done well, Richard. Yeah, money wise, if you want it, I don't know, 2,200 quid, and I think it's very, very reasonable at that. So yeah, I ain't using this this YouTube thing as a selling channel, but hey, it does help. We've sold quite a bit of tackle through it, so. But right, there's no one in at work today, so they're all having day off, so I've got a bit of stock work to do. I want to go around cattle, have a good look at pigs, and then I just want to go around a few fields, have a look at our oilseed rape. I think, well, Phil saw someone on top dressing yesterday, it must be second application, and I think we nearly want to be on. If it's a fairish weekend, we don't get much more rain, and it's dry underfoot, so we don't make a mess with in the tram lines, I think we want to be nearly thinking about putting a bit more fert on. So yeah, these cattle are doing well. These are the ones my dad bought from Russell Market. Yeah, strong money, but nice cattle. Excuse me. They've just been getting sugar beet and silage. Silage isn't the best, to be honest. There was no life in the grass. A lot of it was second cut, and there was no life in the grass when we cut it, mowed it and baled it with the season we had for that dry weather. But sugar beet has really kept them going. They've loved it, like. And I would have thought, sort of fortnight, 3 weeks time, weather permitting, I would have thought these guys, yeah, maybe 3 weeks, a month, these guys will be off out to grass. So. But yeah, with it being so badly frosted though, there's been quite a bit of waste. You know, there has been, they've left quite a bit, but beggars can't be choosers, because there wasn't no fodder beet left, and what was left was big money. Yeah, I've heard tales of fodder beet up to £50 a tonne, and Christ, it's dear enough for that, I would say, but you might as well feed barley. Saying that about pigeons though, there's quite a few on our oilseed rape this morning, but I haven't been over here for a bit, and Christ, it looks like it's seriously grown. I had a bit of a concern with my Roundup programme, or glyphosate programme, whatever you want to say. We started and we got going, and I did about 50 acre, and then I realised I had two jets bunged round back. You know, why I didn't check, I don't know. Anyway, there must have been, it looks like we've had a clean kill here. There's no lines, and there was quite a side drift. I was pushing the boundaries with drift, to be fair, with wind. And it must have been taking it to the side and causing a total blanket. Just want to have a look in the cover crops and see if it's nobbled them. But yeah, a little bit of a weight off our mind, because I thought I was going to have to go back with our little quad sprayer and do bits and pieces. But Christ almighty, the rape's grown This is some forage rape, what we've grown for seed. And that's seriously growing. Not real thick. And these are some stubble turnips, what? Well, they got massively attacked by the flea beetle. And but there'll be a bit of seed at them. We've grown them for seed, like we'll combine them. But this is our commercial oilseed rape. But very, very pleased. Christ, it's growing. It's got out of that first application of nitrogen, and it's massively growing. It's really shifted now, and I would say thick enough, to be honest. There's quite a few thin plants here, like he'll make one, you know, to fill them gaps in. You know, they are very pretty little plants, but and there's no damage from its demons. Only thing, like pigeons and slugs now, only thing I'm a little bit concerned about is if the flea beetle larvae is in the plant, and in spring they start to eat it from the heart, but from the inside. But I don't think so. How healthy that looks, I don't think it's got any issues whatsoever. In fact, this one will do really well. Our other ones are a little bit thinner, but they're a croply. Oh, it's a bit wet walking through it. A lot of people have bailed out on oilseed rape. Like, we've dropped a bollock this year, a serious bollock. We haven't even got ours sold, and I think it's creeping down to 400 quid a tonne, where we could have made probably near on 700 of it if we'd sold it early. But anyway, we didn't know, so ours is still sat in store waiting to be sold. Yeah, but wheat's nearly £200 a tonne, isn't it? Is it 204, 5, something like that? Barley's about 100 in the late 80s, 180 something. So yeah, stuff's going on in the wrong direction really, but it is what it is, and we've got quite a bit left, but we've sold a lot right, actually. We've sold a lot of corn with a 3 in front of it, and late 2s as well, so we're quite happy that on average we'll have done our job right. But anyway, you have to be happy on the day. Yeah, very pleased with this rape, apart from that bit. Don't look at that bit. Our wheat's starting to sort of shift as well. I mean, we've had some growing weather lately. It's starting to shift. Yeah, I'll show you the direct drill stuff because I'm quite pleased with it. Yeah, this is what I'd class as conventionally drilled. This has been worked. This has had Simba Solo over it, and then straight in with combi. So yeah, it's cost a bit more than direct drilling it to put in the ground, but it looks fantastic. Second wheat, I can't remember the bloody variety. It's a new one we've grown this time. It's a fairly new variety. I'll put it on the screen. But it's replaced our Costello, which Costello's did us really well. But this one is a first wheat, early driller, late driller, first, second wheat, wherever you want to put it. And it looks fantastic, to be honest. But yeah, that's had a bit more preparation than such as next door, what was direct drilled. But you know, it looks okay. I mean, it's got a few little patches here and there, like sandy banks, what have got a bit of eelworm damage, but they're thick enough to and strong enough to overcome it, I think. But I think it's ready to due for another slug of nitrogen, how it feels under your feet, and you know, it's yeah, quite pleased. And as I say, next door here, this is direct drilled, but I showed you before, Ollie made a bit of a balls up here there. Quite a few spouts bunged up on the moors. That's such a mucky hurry to get it in that they want checking stuff. But look, there's nothing wrong with that, and this usually struggles, so ignore the gaps. That's worst bit actually. But yeah, that's direct drilled. And there's nothing wrong with that, because this is some at worst land on our farm. This backs up to Pockleton Canal, and there's some gnarly old clay in here, really is. But as that looks, look at that. I know that's had a bit more seed because the bung spouts been feeding the ones what haven't been bunged, but I would say that's too thick anyway. And to be fair, in November this looked like it wasn't going to be a success, but I think it bloody is, I really do. You know, I think mauling some of this heavy land too much, you're shooting yourself in the foot. I know the idea is to improve the biology underfoot, but if you don't have to pull a lot of steel through it and burn a lot of diesel, what's the point? You know, I don't think it's suitable for all conditions, but I think your worst land, or our worst land anyway, it's everyone to their own, isn't it? They know their situation and their land and tackle they've got on one thing or another. Excuse me. I made a balls up in this field. I think I've showed you before, I can't really see it. Oh yeah. There's a strip here about, I don't know, 2 meters. I was over because I used the same tram lines as I did last year in the oats. This is wheat following oats. And I used the same tram lines. I said to Ollie, I says, just drill it, don't even think about tram lines. And I'll find the tram lines from last year. There was a slight indentation. Anyway, I made a balls up and got 2 meters over, and I'm gonna have to spray it out because it's nearly 100% clean, apart from the 2 meter where I've missed, and there's black grass. So I'll just have to spray a strip out there. Which is quite an expensive, could be a ton of wheat there, won't there? But quite an expensive experiment. But it just proves that them residual chemicals, you couldn't manage without them on this farm. Because if you left that, if you didn't take that out, it'd shed 1 billion seeds, wouldn't it? And there'd just be a lawn of blackgrass there this year and next year. And that's very clean. Very pleased with it. I mean, there will be blackgrass. Whether there's a few enough for us to rogue them, but if there is, we'll rogue this field, because this has been a problem for a lot of years and we're starting to get on top of it. So if we can get it to a point where we can we can say we can pick what's there, we will, to the disgrace of our Oliver, because he hates it. I think it's a good job roguing, wild oating and blackgrassing. Get a few here, nice day, have a bit of crack, it's all right. Put a bit of a cover crop in this field. Can't hardly tell. We've sprayed it off with Roundup, and it has. Oh, look, photobombing again. Sprayed it off with Roundup, and my bung nozzles actually have. It's had a complete kill, so that's a weight off my mind. But got Phil. It was that dry. Got Phil to just put a covering of muck on, and I think it feels now. As soon as we get chance, we'll drill this with barley. You know, if we get a dry slot of a week, it's time it was sort of drilled and getting established if we are in for a drought, which it seems to be the norm at the minute. But yeah, I was a bit light on my cover crop. We put some vetches, some rye, some oats. There was odd radish just as experiments, see how they did. Deers took most of it actually as it grew. They, you know, just seem to devour it. But it's done a lot for the underneath the soil though. I mean, I've brought a fork and it was like quite fibrous and in real good condition. So I think it has done a fair bit of good. A few people have asked in comments while we're on with dog what she is. She's 3/4 Kelpie, 1/4 collie, with a bit of Alsatian chucked in, and well, she's a mongrel, isn't she? You know, but the collie's mongrel's a breed now, but that's what she is. So she's mostly Kelpie, so hopefully she'll sort of be good with cattle. But yeah, it's a comical little thing. Dearest mongrel I've ever bought. 350 quid for a mongrel. You used to beg them, didn't you? Maybe take it back about pigeon damage. They've really caned this in the last week or two. We've maybe neglected it a little bit by not coming down and seeing what was what, but I'm not worried about it. They reckon, the research reckons if they don't eat that heart out, it'll overcome, like, you know. But yeah, they've took the leaf off, which photosynthesize, but it'll recover, it'll grow new leaves, and it'll be fine. And to be fair, I know it will, because my Pakistani friend and Ali, he harvested some rape, some real forward rape, and it was he was going to sell it in the markets as they sell it as a vegetable called sag. Anyway, I says, oh, crack on, you can have that headland, you know, and see how you go. Organised X amount of pound, and he says, anyway, chopped it off bit bottom. I thought they were just pulling a few leaves off. I buggered off it there, come back, and Ali had chopped all this rape off bit bottom. Thought, this is never going to grow again, you know, totally wiped the crop out. And it tillered, it came through about this time of year. All of a sudden it started to tiller, throw like 3 or 4 shoots out, and they were real strong shoots. It only stood quite small though, so it never recovered as in height wise, but it produced massive amount of grain, which it makes you think, if you could graze it a certain time of year, the plant's still there and would tiller up and produce more grain than you'd get in start. But whether that's right or it's maybe just my theory, I don't know, but they were very, very strong plants. To be fair, now I've got in it, there is a fair bit of damage, but not to worry about whatsoever. Looks fantastic. Next door, our other field, I don't know, there's a few bare patches in that one, there's nothing. Flea beetle just murdered it, absolutely murdered it. When we drilled this field, Ollie drilled it with Vardestad, I was rolling in after and Phil was in front with power. And there was a dirty great black cloud over there, and we didn't get it finished. We sort of got about, I don't know, 4/5 of it done, and the heavens open. It was one of them showers where you decided to do another turn, and by the time you got to bloody track you were balled up to bloody heavens. It was one of them. It just must have dropped about bloody 10 mil in about quarter of an hour, and yeah, and which give this side a real good kick. But when we got back to the third field, it dried out again, and it never rained till about fortnight, 3 weeks after, with it being so dry last back end, and it suffered with flea beetle, terrible. But anyway, not to worry. Nowhere will we do nearly the 2 ton. If we do 1.5 tons this year, I'll be quite satisfied, I really will, because it just won't produce. It's just had too much against it last back end. Anyway, I'm uttering shite now, so Phil's told me to tell you that it don't cost you now to subscribe. So if you haven't subscribed and you like this channel, press that subscribe button. There's no cost involved, you just press the button and you're subscribed. You'll get notifications how else we do in future. And it helps me along to pushes my videos to top at YouTube farming scene sort of thing. So when people put farming in, I'll come up. Or I think that's how it works anyway. So if you like it, subscribe, and then yeah, have a rough hard farming in Yorkshire. It seems to be my saying at the moment. Tick and subscribe, or whatever you do, and 2 a week, 2 or 3 a week, whatever. Bye for now.